Hey, what's up? It's another episode of Watch U Strappin. These are not watch reviews. It's just a quick wristwatch check with a watch and strap pairing. Usually something aftermarket. If I haven't already shown it on its default factory strap and or bracelet option that it would have come with originally. Consider these also extended reviews or extended or supplemental user experiences, just to throw in my I don't know, whatever's on my mind about a particular watch, just add to the information regarding a particular watch. Anyways, I'm back on the Timex Q GMT. This is, of course, a quartz GMT watch, but I really like it. Definitely not new. What did this come out at least a year or two ago at the time of this recording? But yeah, sometimes it's just, some things are just, you don't have to go with the newest things. You just look back at some things that are somewhat recent and maybe even older. But, there's no shortage of cool timepieces from all, price ranges and brands and makes. And I've been really enjoying this, actually, a lot more than maybe I originally thought when I first saw this watch. I knew it was good looking, and I kind of did dismiss it a bit. Not to be a quartz snob or anything, because I'm not really. I actually have more quartz watches, or at least equal, than mechanical these days. But I enjoy both sides, and I've tried both sides, and I come to the conclusion that there's room for both of them, automatic, mechanical, and quartz. It just depends on the style, what you're going to use it for, but they're all pretty accurate. If anything, the quartz are even more so and more trouble-free. But there is a cooler factor, I would say, in most mechanical watches, just the fact that it's all mechanical. It's not, it's, I don't know, it gets less tech and electronic based, I suppose. But nonetheless, both are, I think, work for me just as well these days, and having fun. Anyways, this GMT is really cool. I love the classic look. I'm a sucker for Pepsi GMT, like GMT Master style watches. Just look at my past videos. And any posts, if you subscribe to are part of the same groups that I'm at on Facebook and stuff, you'll see I have quite a number of Pepsi style watches in my past, but none have ever stuck. But I really do think this one will. It just has that right balance of vintage, and the trick is I want as close to a GMT Master look as possible without being, I guess, as much of a direct copy, or design wise, and I've done those quite a bit, and they're nice, but then something about it just didn't ever stuck with me, and so I ended up selling them. But the closest ones that have stuck, you see, it's a balance between getting as close to that look without being a copy, but yet just enough of its own twist, but not make it so too different. At least in this specific regards, so some people might want, I just want generally that look, but then I don't really want that, exact look. But I do want that exact look, but then again, not. It's kind of tricky to explain, and I think this one does it pretty well. I will say that my Steinhardt Ocean 39, the Batman that I had, when they still had them in stainless steel, now they've discontinued those, unfortunately, but they did make they finally made it in titanium, which it originally was in the larger Ocean 1 size, which was a 42 millimeter watch. But now they have a 39 in titanium. And on top of that, what I've noticed looking closely, and very few people have mentioned it, except for maybe one person have maybe commented on this, is that they actually finally changed the case design on the Steinhardt. It actually, they used to have it's not so much that the case was flat. That's fine, because as you think about Tudors and Oruses, you look at their cases, they're pretty flat and pretty basic and plain, really. But it's really the lugs. At least those, well, I have to say Orus 65 does look very similar to a Steinhardt case, the way they kind of get they don't really bend that much at the lug tips, and they have a bit of a blunt cutoff too. I'm serious, they look very similar, the Aura 60 Diver 65 and Steinhardt, but that was always a thing that kind of didn't look all that great on the Steinhardts. It's just they did, I mean, I think they wanted to do their own thing and not be such a direct copy, even though almost every other way they do. But yeah, anyways, finally, instead of having a blunt lug, I noticed that they actually curve it down into a nicer point now, just on that 39 titanium, I guess they call it their premium GMT, if I'm not mistaken. They don't call it the Batman, of course, but it's the black and blue one, and it's in titanium again. Pretty cool, very, not a bad price. I think they're right around $500 or $600. You can often get it on sale here and there, depending from Nomon or maybe even from Steinhardt too. You just look around and wait, and you see. And I think that one's definitely one that, when I had the stainless steel version, and I made like at least 18 points, or is it 28? I forget why it's like so close yet it's so different from a Batman GMT. And that one did it really well. Like it's close to that look, but yet it didn't, and feel, but yet it was its own thing. And I feel that's the same with this one. There could be other ones out there, but too many to name. But I like the fact that, I have that classic, the more vintage style bezel. I like that more than the modern GMT Master 2s with the ceramic bezel. Those numbers are just too big and bold. Some might like it, that boldness. It looks sportier, I suppose, but I like this. It's just smaller, thinner, and of course I do like the aluminum bezel more, which this has. I just think that sheen and the color of blue and red that pops off of an aluminum bezel, the way it's finished, it looks a lot better to me than a ceramic. And they did that. The triangle at the 12 is more of a triangle. It's more even, versus the ones on the Rolexes are like much more elongated. And also, you look at the markers at the 9 and 3, they also have come to a point as well. That's also different. And I believe the hand on the GMT Masters, the arm running out from there is actually painted, but the tips are actually silver, or I guess it might be white gold or gold. So that's a little bit different here. This has a frame, date window. Obviously, it's quartz, and also it's not a. I never use the word true GMT, because they're all GMTs, either office or travelers. They're both true GMTs. They just function differently. But it's not a traveler's GMT like a GMT Master 2. However, if you look at the vintage GMT Masters, when they originally made, they were an office GMT. They did not have it independently, settable, jumping hour hand. They did have a quick set, and I almost want to say, I gotta check again. I feel that the GMT hand might have been technically fixed too at the very early ones, but either way, it was not a Flyers or Travelers GMT. It was an office GMT originally, which is fine. I don't travel nearly as much, barely these days, as I used to. And even if I did, to be honest, I never needed a GMT watch. I still don't, but I like the look of it. But yeah, an office GMT works just fine. And this one does not have the clicking. Like if you try to advance it to another, time zone, set it to, whatever, the GMT hand, it doesn't click into an hourly position. It's actually free kind of roaming. So you can set it anywhere in between an hour, which is fine. There are some places here that take like half hours, or maybe even some odd 15 or even a 45-minute difference or something like that. But the one thing I would say is also good, besides being that actually a little bit more flexible in that sense, to set to almost any alternate time zone, is that sometimes GMT hands that do click into an hourly position, they do they might be not made perfectly, and they could be off by a little bit, not perfectly pointing at the intended 24-hour marker at the top of the hour. Whereas this one, you could have that problem, sure, if you do not have it, because it's free roaming, if you don't have it set correctly. But because of that, you can actually fine tune it and make it set precisely on the top of the hour. And that's what I did, and it's actually lined up pretty good. And I would have to say, for the watch when I got on sale, which is even better, that costs decently under $200. This has a nice, fairly perfectly ticking seconds hand. I mean, it hits the markers pretty much dead on as far as I'm concerned, and that's great. It's better than I can say for something that's maybe closer to $3,000 quartz. Yes, there is another watch that I own that's around that price, but I didn't pay that much for it, and it doesn't even hit the markers perfectly, but it is very accurate as well, and I really do like that other watch that I have. But going on to the strap finally, I was looking for a rubber strap option. I don't mind the strap, the bracelet that it comes on. I rather like it. It's pretty decent quality given the price range, and I think the style works. I also kind of like the original Timex Q, the three-handed version. It has a very unique style to that. It could be an arm hair puller, but to be honest, I don't have much, if any. I do have some. Everybody has some arm hair, but very few, and I don't think that would be an issue for me anyways. But I hear it's definitely should be more jangly and less substantial feeling, because the links on that come with this are actually solid, versus the ones on the original Timex Q are like folded or something, and they're much more hollow feeling. But looks wise, it might be kind of cool to try it on this as well. I have seen people do that. They actually prefer that one, but I don't know, we'll see. But I wanted to do some other aftermarket strap options which fill out the watch nicer, because it does have 18 millimeter lug spacing in there, but the bracelet does flare out from there to kind of widen into the case. And I was looking for straps to do that. I could find some ready-made leather straps. I definitely could have some custom made, but I don't know if I want to spend that much on it. It would probably be at least more than half the cost of this watch, and I'm not sure that's really worth it unless it's something damn specifically cool and unique that I want to have done for this. But I can't think of anything just yet. I mean, I could put a straight 18 millimeter off of there, which is fine. I've seen people do like nothing that flares out to 22 millimeters, which it would be, and that would be fine. But I do have a strong preference to get it flared out, because 18 millimeters can look and feel a little bit, I don't want to say skimpy, but when you're used to 20 millimeter straps and above, maybe even 19, that still seems, it's a bit skinny, I guess, or dainty in some cases, especially if it has a dramatic taper that can really make it look so. I prefer it to be as straight as possible coming off of an 18. But in this case, I did find something that flared out. And this is basically, you can probably find different brands. I got this off Amazon for $10 or less. Maybe it was on sale, I forget. But totally worth it. This is like a resin, or I guess they call it PU, which I believe is basically polyurethane, which I like. In the past, I've had some on some other watches, and what I like about it is it's generally pretty sturdy. And it's not like a lint magnet like silicone. I will never do silicone straps. They're inexpensive, but they also are just as cheap looking and feeling. And just the fact that they totally cling onto, dust and lint and stuff. And it's just, that's not happening. I'm not doing those ever again. And I haven't done it for a long time, because I quickly realized, comparing rubber-ish straps, FKM rubber, PU, polyurethane, and silicone. Silicone is the worst. It can be very comfortable, I'll give it that, but I think it's just a little too soft, and the whole lint sticking and dust sticking thing is horrible. But this doesn't have that problem, and this is basically made for a Casio F-91W or similar watches that might use 18 millimeters in the strap, the look area, and can use the kind of flare out. And this does flare out to not 22 but 21, so it's a little bit shy of the width, but overall I think it still at least widens the strap a bit, and it still flows pretty nicely from the case to the strap. And it's slim. The watch is relatively slim too, so that all works out. And I think it's not just a plain, boring, strap, rubber strap of some sort, which you can easily get. There's some nice FKM rubber ones, but they're just too plain. I can work with that on some other ones, but I didn't really. If I can do something different, I will, and I would like to do that. And these are basically, I think, the style that I guess come on the F-91Ws. If you get them on a strap instead of, I guess, a bracelet. I'm not sure because I don't really own one, but from what I've seen, I believe that's the case. And so these are supposed to be like direct replacements for those, but obviously you can use it on other watches, and it just works fine on this Timex Q GMT, and I'm sure that the three-handed version would work just as well. And what I like about it is these little details right here, these three lines, and it's got like a little extra what do you call it, slot or widening, like right in the middle of it, and it just kind of gives a sort of, that some other straps do this. They try to mimic a kind of general look of a bracelet, a link bracelet coming off of it, but it's rubber strap obviously, and I don't know, I like that extra detail. I think it works because these lines, and it's pretty, you get some straight geometry, which matches kind of like the case design philosophy of it on this, which I like, and I think it all works together really nicely. And they come in other colors, which I think I'll probably pick up. Strap Habit makes some for the Timex Q, but I don't know if I want to pay as much as that. They're not expensive, but they're not $10, and even on sale they won't be that cheap. They're good quality. I do have a lot of Strap Habit straps, and they do, and they have some unique ones, like I think they have some hybrid ones. They have like a nylon or Condor on the outside and mixed with rubber, and they do have some full rubber ones, FKM rubber ones. I'll see. I might pick up one or two of those too down the line. But I do see some other ones in this color, this style. I think I would look at a white one. I'm not sure if they have a gray, but if they do, I would probably do that. I would probably do. Pretty sure they have an olive green. I think that always looks good. I think an olive drab strap, and they do have a clear one, which I don't know. I might do. It might look weird, but at the same time, it might look kind of cool too, having like a clear resin strap with this particular style. We'll see. They're not that expensive. I might just get one for the hell of it, and I think these will actually. I work pretty decently with my other 18 millimeter watch. Well, the one that has 18 millimeter straps that takes that, which would be my Citizen Suno Chrono. You've probably seen that if you've seen my other videos and posts. Really cool quartz chronograph, vintage style, and I think that would work pretty nicely on that as well. We'll see. I'm sure I'll try it and I'll show it on this channel. Anyways, my sleeve is starting to creep up on me, so it's time to go. So thanks for watching, and enjoy your watches.